mother and her baby died. Don't mind Mustafa on the floor in and out of consciousness. Don't mind that he just went into a coma. Don't mind him. He's on the floor in front of his vehicle. Because he's on drugs,
he deserves
a mother and a baby died. He deserves it. So he's weaponizing those witnesses. You know, after talking to you, I mean, sometime when you have this tunnel vision, it's always a good idea to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I've got body cams that Officer Robert Drum is telling witnesses, we need you to get our ducks in a row before we pull the trigger on Mustafa.
Yeah.
Forget the justice system. He's already condemning Mustafa guilty. He's telling individuals that they're using as witnesses that Mustafa is guilty. He did this on purpose, and you can get him off the street.
What's the difference between Glenn Ford?
I'm going to play that body cam for you. It's going to blow you.
Look,
it's going to blow your mind.
Listen, what's the difference between Glenn Ford, Tanisha Coleman, and someone on the scene like those people that they gather statements from? What is the difference? There's literally no difference. They weren't there at the accident. They weren't inside the car. And they're alleged witnesses. So if he's willing to tell Glenn Ford, we need you, Glenn Ford. We need you to get this guy. I need your statements to match our narrative. When they're telling Tanisha Coleman, we need your statements to match our narrative.
By the way,
to get this guy off the street, to put him behind bars forever. We need your statement to match our narrative. You're no longer questioning a witness. Now you're building a witness. Okay? You're building a witness to match your narrative, and it's on body cam. And this prosecutor wants to tell the judge, Your Honor, we sealed these files for the protection of witnesses, for the protection of people. Fuck all that. You sealed it because your police officers are actively coaching people to come in and say, yes, we are witnesses, and we're here to corroborate what the narrative is out of this police department against this guy. We're here to put this man behind bars, regardless of what the facts are.
Let me play a body cam for you. I mean, if you didn't have this body cam, I mean, whoever's tuning in, they'll tell you, what's your evidence? That you have an investigator inserting a bias into this case. I have a body cam.
Oh, it's worse than bias.
Not only, I mean, you have an investigator that's telling witnesses, this guy is guilty, he's on drugs, we need you.
When an investigator has his wife on the phone and his wife is actively coaching members of the community to come forward and pretend like they saw the accident, like Elizabeth Lee, like Amy Hodson, like Glenn Ford, who, by the way, admits, I have never met Mustafa before. I've never had communications with Mustafa before. And somehow Glenn Ford is being formed, is being shaped by Robert Drum, by Robert Davis. Okay, he's being shaped. Cruz and Davis
You're
went to
telling
his
me,
apartment.
I mean, the prosecutor whole entire case is that Mustafa is a jealous boyfriend because he's jealous from the ex-boyfriend, that he crashed the vehicle on purpose, that he murdered his girlfriend and her 5-year-old baby. And then you find the body cam that the ex-boyfriend saying, oh, yeah, by the way, whatever I'm telling you about Mustafa,
Never seen it.
I've never seen it. I was never there. And by the way, Mustafa doesn't know me. What the fuck are we talking about? And then you open a body cam where the investigator is telling him, we need you to pull the trigger on him. Forget the justice system. It's up to you. We need to get our ducks in a row. You can get him out off the street for us.
Let me just point this out. When Tanisha Coleman told Robert Drum that she had a blink camera, Robert Drum immediately jumped on that, ran to a magistrate, got a subpoena for the blink camera. Even though, by the way, even though Tanisha Coleman was willing to give him that footage, he went and got a warrant, or he went and got a subpoena for those videos. Now listen to this. When Glenn Ford tells Rob Davis that he had emails and I think text messages from Mustafa, allegedly from Mustafa, from Dorothy's phone by Mustafa, but he had somehow deleted them. Why did Rob Davis not get a subpoena to Google?
Exactly. Especially if he's if the ex-boyfriend is claiming that Mustafa,
they know it's fake.
Because they know it's fake.
They know it's fake.
I mean, you're talking about you're telling the main investigator that I have evidence that Mustafa abused Dorothy, but mysteriously they're deleted.
By the way, let's not.
As an investigator, you can get a subpoena for the communication.
Let's not forget.
But they know it's fake.
Let's not forget. This is the same guy that pawned Dorothy's belongings from an alleged, according to the police, from an alleged double homicide scene.
Oh, pawned
and never questioned
pawned
about it.
the items.
And
Pawned the
never
items
questioned about it.
in Dorothy's apartment, in Mustafa's apartment, including the Google Nest cameras in the apartment. And wait a minute, the 16-year-old comes online and says, Glenford didn't pawn them. I went into the apartment. I cleaned out the apartment. What the fuck are we talking about? And they thought they were so comfortable that we're not going to get the Google Nest video. And they're terrified that today we have the Google Nest video that shows it's a beautiful relationship. Days on days of Google Nest video that shows it's a beautiful relationship, that the prosecutor is terrified.
By the way, I think Prosecutor Sammy and the police department's communication is such a major part of this case. It's not just exculpatory, but it's exonerating to Mustafa, to the point where this communication is going to tell you, why I was kicked out of the Commonwealth Attorney's office when I said I want to present you the Google.
I mean,
Nest
I'll tell you the hypocrisy.
Because there is communication. There is communication. Because I went to the police, I went to Prince William County Police, and I went to that office, the Commonwealth Attorney's office, and I was rejected by both.
How about
there's a reason. There's communication that's going to clarify why they're not interested in these Google Nest videos. There's a reason. And that reason is exculpatory. And it's going to show you, not only is there a bias, but there's an active attempt to manipulate evidence into this case, to manipulate witnesses, and to actively delete and destroy evidence in this Mustafa Al-Jazari case. There's an active, when I say attempt is when you're trying. There's literally destruction of evidence taking place in this case. There's literally tampering of witnesses taking place by police, by prosecutors in this case. There's active prosecutors talking to minors, and lying to the judge about it. It's happening. It's not. It's.
I mean, we just read
no
a
longer
document.
A theory.
We just read a document.
It's not an attempt.
Where the prosecutor sat down with the 16-year-old, Dorothy's daughter, but in court during a Brady motion, she's telling the judge the only time that the children were spoken to is in the forensic interview. You're lying to the judge.
And she's used to it because she's used to proffering without anybody fact-checking, if anybody going back behind her and saying, hey, you just proffered a lie. She's used to it. But now that you have the file, you can check her in real time. She just said the other day that no one spoke to the minors.
Do me a favor. Go over to exhibits.
Right there.
I have a body cam where Investigator Davis, who's not with the forensic unit, the children forensic unit, has the 16-year-old on speed dial. And as soon as he gets off the phone with that 16-year-old, a minor, he contacts the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, who's telling Judge Weimer, Your Honor, the only time that the children were spoken to is inside the forensic interview. And then she turns around and says, I have no idea what my police officers are talking when they're talking and communicating with the children. Let's watch the body cam. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibits.
Lying. She got caught red-handed.
See him coming in second, third, maybe he's like the 2.5 tight end.
Hello?
Hey, Kylie, it's Investigator Davis.
Okay, yeah.
Kylie is the 16-year-old.
Hey, Kylie, this is
Well, you don't have to see much of, maybe just a game or two.
He's not with the
right
children
now,
forensic
at
unit.
12:12 on the B. Mitch and Finley Show with Scott Jackson, substitute for JP, on April 11th, Tuesday, I'm going to say Do not waste a draft pick. Not waste a draft pick because, like I laid out, those good reasons.
Sure.
Do not spend a draft pick on a day 2, day 3 quarterback. Let's find another linebacker. Your call has been forwarded to an. I laid out those good reasons.
Sure.
Do not spend a draft pick on a day 2.
Is that not Sarah, Sammy? I've got better and
You got better
clear,
quality?
better quality. I've got 4K quality. Let's see if I can. I mean, sitting in front of the sheriff office and playing sealed body cam in 4K quality, I can tell you this county is fucked. This chief of police, prosecutor Sarah Sammy, you know, maybe
Well, lying to a judge is a big deal.
Is a big fucking
Lying to
deal.
Judge Weimer
you know,
is a
when
bigger deal.
Judge Weimer told her there will be consequences in this case, she started shaking, and he told her flat out, he told her it's not up to me. It's a case out of the Supreme Court. He's talking about Brady versus Maryland.
He's following the law, and he's telling her the law, when it comes down, it knows no color. It doesn't know you. It doesn't know Amy Ashford.
I mean, he denied.
It doesn't know anybody.
I mean, he denied the release of the communication. He denied the release of the communication. He approved all the Brady motions, all the Brady violations. That went forward. But the communication, he denied it. But then he turned around and he told Brad Haywood, if you have to file a motion, I'm open to it. By the way, this is a judge that doesn't want to hear anything. Now, we're building a case. Brady versus Maryland entitles Mustafa
clear
to
as
the
day.
communication
Clear as day.
if there's a bias.
Clear as day.
Clearly, there's a bias in this case when Officer Casey Fine shows up and puts a label on Mustafa that he's on drugs.
It's much bigger than a bias.
Clearly,
deeper.
when the prosecutor says blocks the reconstruction of the vehicle, when the children are being weaponized and she's being notified, when the officer falsified Mustafa's statement, forget all that. Well, before I go into, I've got a body cam where the investigator is telling the alleged witnesses, we need you to get our ducks in a row. We need you to get Mustafa off the street. Is that not a fucking bias? You tell them Mustafa is guilty, and now you're telling them it's up to you to get him off the street. Forget the justice system. You can help us.
They're telling him they were never there.
By the way, those witnesses, yeah, exactly. Those witnesses are saying we were never there.
They're already disqualified.
That's
They're
crazy.
disqualified from being witnesses.